Ever feel like you're running in circles? Chasing deadlines but never getting ahead? Promising to change but falling back into old patterns? What if I told you there's a book written 35 years ago that's still the ultimate blueprint for true success? Not just productivity hacks, but principles that transform who you are. Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits isn't another self-help fad. With 40 million copies sold, it's a global phenomenon because it works. This book doesn't teach you how to manage time. It teaches you how to reshape your life, from reactive to proactive, from scattered to purposeful, from busy to truly effective. But here's the catch. These aren't habits like drinking more water. They're mental paradigms, like upgrading your operating system. Today, I'll break down, number 1, the one habit that changed how I make decisions. Hint, it starts with begin with the end in mind. Number 2, why most people fail at habit 3 and how to fix it. Number 3, Covey's brutal truth about dependency versus independence. If you're ready to stop rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, let's dive in. All right, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, written by Stephen R. Covey. Now, this isn't just any self-help book. It's a massive bestseller, selling over 25 million copies worldwide and translated into more than 40 languages. It's had a huge impact, and it was even a major inspiration for the Paradigm Shifting Books podcast I listened to. Stephen R. Covey, in case you don't know, was an American author and businessman, and he co-founded Franklin Covey, which is this big international education and training institution. The core idea of the book is what he calls the inside-out approach. What that means is true change starts with you internally, especially with your paradigms, your way of seeing things, your habits and your motives, rather than just focusing on external personality traits or techniques. Covey really believed that genuine, lasting success and happiness come from learning and integrating these fundamental principles of effective living into our very own habits. So, let's dive into these 7 essential habits that Stephen R. Covey laid out in the book. Number 1, be proactive. This habit is the absolute foundation, the one from which all the other 6 grow. Being proactive means your life is a product of your decisions, not just your environment or circumstances. You have the responsibility to choose your response. You don't blame situations or other people. Instead, you focus your energy on your circle of influence, those things you can actually control or influence. When you focus on what you can control, your circle of influence expands, giving you more inner power. Interesting examples. Viktor Frankl's experience. In a Nazi concentration camp, Viktor Frankl, a Jewish doctor, found that even in the most horrific conditions, he could still choose between giving in or giving up. This perfectly illustrates how humans always have the freedom to choose between a stimulus and their response. Dealing with a child's problem. Covey shares how he and his wife tried to help his son with a baseball problem, but nothing worked until they shifted their perspective. They realized the problem wasn't their son, it was their own insecurities reflecting in how they treated him. Once they changed their paradigm and worked within their circle of influence, positive energy emerged and ultimately influenced their son. Language use. Proactive people use language that reflects responsibility, like I choose to instead of I have to or he made me angry. 2, begin with the end in mind. This habit is about mental creation, or the first creation, before anything physical actually happens. Think of it like drawing up the blueprint for a house before you hammer the first nail. It's about defining your goals, your vision, and your highest values in life. Having a clear end in mind ensures that all your actions align with what truly matters to you. Covey puts it beautifully. Leadership is doing the right things, while management is doing things right. Interesting examples. Imagining your own funeral. Covey encourages readers to imagine their own funeral and think about what they'd want people to say about them, what qualities and contributions they'd want to be remembered for. This exercise helps you discover your most fundamental life values. Creating a personal mission statement. This is like your personal constitution, an unchanging standard that guides your important life decisions. Anwar Sadat's life shift. Former Egyptian President Anwar Sadat, who had deep-seated hatred for Israel, completely changed his paradigm while in prison. He realized that true success was about having victory over himself, not about material possessions. This internal shift empowered him to initiate an unprecedented peace process, which led to the Camp David Accords. 3. Put first things first. This is the physical creation, or the second creation, where you put habits 1 and 2 into practice in your daily life. The core of this habit is self-management, specifically prioritizing what's important but not urgent, Quadrant 2. These are activities that yield significant long-term results, such as building relationships, long-term planning, exercising, and preparation. They often get neglected because they're not screaming for your attention. Covey puts it beautifully. True time management is really self-management, guided by a compass, principles, and values, rather than being driven by a clock, schedules, and efficiency. Interesting examples: Eisenhower Matrix, Time Management Matrix. This divides activities into 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, urgent and important. Crises, pressing problems, deadline-driven projects. Quadrant 2, not urgent and important. Prevention, relationship building, planning, exercise. This is the heart of effective personal management. Quadrant 3, urgent and not important. Interruptions, unnecessary meetings, some emails and calls. Quadrant 4, not urgent and not important. Trivia, busy work, time-wasting activities. Saying no wisely. To make time for Quadrant 2 activities, you have to learn to say no to Quadrant 3 and 4 activities, which often seem urgent but aren't important. This requires a greater yes burning inside you. Stewardship delegation. Instead of simply saying, "Go get this," go for delegation. Focus on the desired results and give the other person the freedom to choose the methods. This takes time and coaching up front, but saves immense time in the long run and develops people. For example, Covey taught his son to manage the lawn care, only specifying that he wanted a green and clean lawn, leaving the how up to his son, except for painting it green. 4. Think win-win. This habit is a mindset and a heart that always seeks mutual benefit in interactions with others. It's about believing in a third alternative, not your way or my way, but a better way for everyone. This contrasts with the win-lose mindset, one person's success at another's expense, lose-win, giving in to please others, and lose-lose, both parties destroying each other. Thinking win-win builds trust and fosters cooperation. Interesting examples. Internal company competition. A company president wanting collaboration among employees, but setting up a Bermuda trip prize competition, which created a win-lose mindset and fostered internal competition instead of true cooperation. Win-win agreements. Creating a clear shared understanding up front about desired results, not just methods, guidelines, resources, accountability, and consequences. This allows people to self-evaluate and builds trust. Covey had a win-win agreement with his daughter about car use, with clear responsibilities and evaluation, benefiting both. Abundance mentality is a key characteristic for win-win thinking, believing there's enough for everyone. This contrasts with a scarcity mentality, which sees resources as limited and someone else's success as a reduction of your own. 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. This habit is the cornerstone of interpersonal communication. We often listen to reply, not to deeply understand. Empathic listening means truly listening with the intent to understand the other person's frame of reference, not just their words, but their feelings and the unspoken meaning. This kind of listening provides psychological air to others, which is one of humanity's greatest needs after survival. This habit requires courage and insecurity, because opening yourself to truly listen means opening yourself to influence. Interesting examples. Diagnose before you prescribe. Just like an optometrist thoroughly diagnoses a patient's eye problems before prescribing glasses, in communication, we should strive to deeply understand the other person's situation and feelings before giving advice or expressing our own views. Ethos, pathos, logos framework. For effective presentation of ideas, the order should be ethos, or personal credibility, to pathos, or empathy, to logos, or logic or reason. This means your character and relationships come before the logic of your presentation. Father and son. A son complains about hating school. The father tries to give advice or judge, but the son still feels misunderstood. When the father shifts to empathic listening, repeating the content and feelings of his son, the son begins to open up and ask for advice, allowing them to see the problem from the same angle. 6. Synergize. This habit is about creative cooperation, where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. 1 + 1 = 3 or more. It's about combining the strengths of different individuals to create new, unprecedented alternatives. This habit requires all the previous habits: proactivity, beginning with the end in mind, putting first things first, thinking win-win, and seeking first to understand, to create an open and trusting environment, which is essential for synergy to emerge. Interesting examples. Planting 2 trees. If you plant 2 trees close together, their roots intertwine and improve the soil quality, allowing both trees to grow better than if planted separately. Classroom experience. Covey recounts an experience in a classroom where he let go of the traditional curriculum and allowed students to freely share experiences and insights. This led to a shared new script where learning became unexpectedly powerful and meaningful. Force field analysis. In situations requiring change, synergy is incredibly powerful in addressing restraining forces that hinder growth and change. By applying win-win principles, empathic listening, and creative cooperation, you can turn restraining forces into driving forces. 7. Sharpen the saw. This final habit is about balanced self-renewal in 4 dimensions of human nature: physical, spiritual, mental, and social and emotional. Regularly and consistently nurturing these 4 dimensions is crucial to maintaining and maximizing our effectiveness. This habit is a Quadrant II activity, important but not urgent, that needs consistent attention. Interesting examples. The tired lumberjack. A man is tirelessly sawing down a tree for hours. When someone suggests he take a break and sharpen his saw, he replies, "I don't have time to sharpen the saw. I'm too busy cutting." This perfectly illustrates focusing on production, the golden eggs, while neglecting the capacity to produce, the goose. 4 dimensions of renewal. Physical. Taking care of your body through proper nutrition, rest, and regular exercise. Exercise also greatly enhances proactivity. Habit 1. Spiritual. Renewing the core of your values and vision in life through prayer, meditation, reading great literature or listening to great music, or spending time in nature. Mental. Sharpening your mind and expanding your knowledge through reading good books, journaling, or planning. Social and emotional. Renewing your relationships with others by practicing habits 4, 5, and 6. Think win-win, seek first to understand, and synergize. This is like making deposits into an emotional bank account through kindness, understanding, and trust. Overall summary. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People presents a comprehensive and integrated approach to living an effective life. It powerfully emphasizes the inside-out approach, meaning change starts from our core, our paradigms, values, and habits before reflecting in external actions and results. The 7 habits are categorized into 3 main stages along what Covey calls the maturity continuum. Private victory, habits 1, 2, and 3, which involve moving from dependence to independence. This is about building personal responsibility, defining your life's direction, and effectively managing yourself. Public victory, habits 4, 5, and 6, which are the foundation for moving from independence to interdependence. This is about working with others, building trusting relationships, and achieving greater results through cooperation and effective communication. Renewal, habit 7, sharpen the saw, which encompasses and nourishes all the other habits. It's a continuous process of self-improvement across the 4 key dimensions to maintain and enhance our effectiveness in every aspect of life. Covey firmly believed that these habits are timeless and changeless principles, true no matter how situations evolve. Consistently applying these principles, he argued, leads to lasting success, happiness, and a meaningful life. It's a book that truly makes you rethink how you approach life and productivity. Have you read it before, or do any of these habits particularly resonate with you?